Hello, guys, and welcome back. We're here in the pre-game panel. Wow, what a new, innovative setting we have here. Hastini and Kips. I would have never guessed you'd be on this panel. Hello, guys. How you doing? We have Hokori's coach, in case you haven't met him. That's Felipe Hastini. Also, one of the biggest connoisseurs of the Brazilian scene in general. And we also have Kips, or Kips. Well, I can't pronounce her Twitter name. I'm so sorry. But she's also a well-renowned coach with international experience, particularly a lot with a couple of SCA teams. Big fan of Adam, but and EU team. Sorry, I meant to say. Here she's to tackle a new region in SA. She's been learning a lot. Got some information from Ace as well, I believe. Right? I know he gave you a little bit of a pack, right, Kips?
Yeah, he has been super helpful, and
Nice.
I'm learning a lot of stuff. I don't understand though. I was actually going to ask you why there was a picture of RDO as a hobbit on Twitter today. Did you see that one?
I think Astini can explain this a bit better.
He's kind of small. He has like 1 meter 60.
Uh-huh.
So they call him like RDO is a big player. No, never mind. He's like a small player that plays well. So they do some jokes on that sense. I
Right,
believe that's
because
the reason.
I'm assuming in Portuguese, gran means both like a great player and also a big player, right?
Yes.
Right.
Mm,
It's just like in Spanish.
I
Look at
love
that.
puns.
Oh, what an advanced community. Oh, okay. You guys asked for a different thing. NoPing said nope. NoPing. They go Triolina again. What are your thoughts on that, guys? You can.
I guess
yeah.
they have the confidence. I did want to say one thing about what Astini said in the previous panel, that you can always go for the later game, right?
Mhm.
But that is giving up the initiative and giving up the idea that you are the dominant team here and you can outplay them, that you have to wait for their mistakes. So NoPing with this draft say, all right, we still think we are the dominant team here. We still think we can execute this better, and we dare you to try and come at us again. We are confident.
Yeah, and they are 2-1 with that strat now, and they won against a super good team. And what they see is, okay, maybe we banned 2 heroes from Mini in the first phase, and they might ban SF now or Void Spirit. And because I think it's a better approach, actually. I know Nuage's Strength Protector is so strong, but you better target one player. Like either you ban his Strength and his other Titan, or you ban Mini, Monkey, and Invoker. So I like this approach better now.
Do you think the SF is equally as powerful though for King of Kings? For me, I mean, besides him being a comfort pick, like is it as versatile? Because the Monkey was super impactful there, but also because it was a more versatile pick, it did a lot more, right? Can SF fulfill that role according to you, Astini?
I mean, it has some team fight together with the Mars and Trinct. It makes sense together with those heroes, but I don't see SF so strong in meta now. I know everyone is doing that hero safe lane and so on, but
It's
my
bad.
opinion, it's not good. Yeah, exactly. So I don't have a good feeling about the hero. That's why I would go with the Void Spirit here on his pool.
I really like the Void Spirit directly versus the IO as well. It is one of the best heroes at sniping the IO from behind, whoever it's hiding behind.
Right. I would agree with that. I mean, Void Spirit's also more consistent. Also, I am tired of seeing SF lose in EU where they think that he's the best hero in the world. Especially because I know that mid laners there go, give me SF, and then that's it. There's no more contribution to the draft, and then they lose with that hero. So please, no more SF or troll. If they can do me that favor, we already got rid of the troll. I'm pretty happy. SA is slowly improving for me. For NoPing though, we talked about buffing the Luna last time. We talked about picking up some team fight, but that team fight was not that impactful for Monster, a guy that usually we see being on the dominant role. What variations could we see on that Kip? Since you were the one that suggested Sanking last time, what would be some other ideas that would work and have a bit more presence in the game?
Yeah, normally I'd say, all right, fine, we throw even more eggs into the Luna basket, right? But most of the heroes that would do that have actually been banned out right now. So no more Invoker, no more Snapfire. You could think about Ogre Magi, I guess, but you already have the IO for the attack speed. It's maybe a bit of overkill.
Legion, maybe?
Legion?
Is Legion that good right now, though?
Seen it struggle, especially if it's thrown into the Soul Initiator role again, and we saw NoPing have problems with that previously. At the very least, with this Treant Protector being on the field, it's pretty likely that there won't be another Bane.
True.
Yeah, and they might change the Mirana for a Rubik. I would be happy to see that.
Interesting. Why?
I think Rubik's super strong against String because of the cast point. You can just steal any spell you'd like to. It's also good against Mars. It's a Thule core hero that he can
That is
play
true.
so well. And could be a lane duo, Rubik Legion, Rubik Centaur, even though it's a bad Centaur game, but it makes sense for the Io Luna draft.
Okay. I do like Centaur with Luna a lot as well. Ooh, Scarth Mage by King of Kings. This interesting. We saw there was, I think it was PuckChamp that played Scarth Mage with Legion. That was an EU, but we haven't seen much of this hero these days. And with Mars, it's also a combo. Opinions on this hero, Kips? Do you think he's strong? He's making a little bit of a comeback right now, or what's the
I've
purpose?
seen an upward trend for Skywrath Mage as well.
Okay.
Especially if you're a fan of picking a lot of cores with reach and utility, and then you put the Skywrath on top to bring the big damage. And ooh, Doom though.
Okay, Doom Grimstroke.
Grim.
That's a classic
All right.
combo. Not the Rubik,
That's a
but
big
like
combo.
this is as much combo as you get, but it's a very different approach for Monster.
Definitely. I mean, I said before that I want to see another hero that can work well together with the IO, and a Doom certainly is that. And King of Kings just say, all right, fine, we're doing this, go big or go home. We put the Medusa opposite your Luna. We're going to try the exact same thing as we did before. Somebody who can, if you play her up, match that farming speed. And we've seen now that they can pull that off.
She also outscales Luna eventually, right? Like, the matchup is not something Luna wins. She's good against Doom. And she could, well, and the thing is, she might punish the greediness of picking up a Doom offlane. Usually, this hero is made, you go Midas, you old 11 it, right? You Midas, you farm, and you're like, oh, guys, I'm carrying now. Don't worry. So, I'm unsure about this, to be honest. I'm not sold.
Especially with Trinkt, such a strong lane.
Yeah. What's the plan now, Steenie? What do you see? I mean, you talked about Io Luna being kind of a one-trick pony of a strategy. How do you deviate this?
I don't know, because like Doom gives another option to the draft, but I don't know how good it is that you like have two play styles on the same draft, because Io Luna, the idea is that you are always fight ready.
Right.
And Doom
Deathball,
Greenstroke, you are ready to fight every 2.5 minutes. And it seems like a nice combo, but it's super hard to use the two spells together. It's not as easy as it seems, but maybe now they have a way of guaranteeing some kills and getting Roche. Like, if you just combo that well on a smoke, go back, get Roche. I can see that happening. It's not really a team fight oriented, that they can actually win a team fight against King of Kings, but they can make a pick off and do Roche afterwards. So a bit better than last game, but still not so confident.
I like your point, by the way. When you pick Grimstroke with something that's like a low cooldown spell, you just throw out Soulbind willy-nilly, and you just throw the low cooldown spell whenever you can. No big deal. For the Doom, it's tough because do you save the Doom for the double Soulbind? Did you get the best target for the Soulbind? Is Grimstroke in position? Being able to actually get the double Doom off is not easy, and sometimes it actually trips team up because they don't actually abuse the Doom as much as they want to. So I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a tiny you asked for last game, Kips, however. You still think it's good?
I mean, a lot of lower cooldown. There's a good target here as well in the Skywrath Mage. You can really keep this guy down. But the team fight from APU King of Kings is just so punishing. Like, the thing that you're saying about getting this combo off, between the Mars and the Treant Protector, APU King of Kings have so many methods to keep this team fight split up after the initiation comes in. So I'm envisioning this Tiny jumping the Skywrath, and then after that the rest of his team has to come in, and they have to wade into this zone of death almost. Well, there is the SF.
Yeah, I mean, against Tiny, you kind of gave it to him, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 that he would go SF or Void Spirit because of his hero pool. And I'm not saying that on a bad way, because he really mastered the heroes, so they're strong enough that you can pick into any situation. And I believe it's a good lane against the Tiny, a melee hero. You can easily triple raise him. I see better team fight for APU Kings again. I see like same thing as first game to happen.
Okay, I see Estini's on the King of Kings wagon. I like it. What about you, Kips?
Very tempting indeed. I see a scenario where Analog can feed off of this Skywrath mage and get himself a game going, but then the tempo seems very halting, isn't it? Between that Doom cooldown and that Grimstroke that wants to do more. I do like the King of Kings draft here better as well.
Okay. Well, for the first time in this panel, guys, Apple King of Kings, they've won the hearts of our panelists, but will they win the hearts of our casters? And more importantly, will they win the actual game? Because that's what matters here. Nobody cares about our opinions. So that's why we have we're going to go right to the game right now. So SeekNStrike, Lacoste, please take it away.
Yes, thank you, Alvo. Hearts and minds here for Apu Kings of Kings. NoPing or maybe no plan, Lacoste, because they go back to the Io Luna. They just got beat with it. What's the idea here? Are you liking what they're proposing with this draft number 2, Lacoste?
I see a couple of issues that they have with this draft, considering how many counter initiations Apu Kings have. You don't like the fight? Use Medusa ulti. Use Treant Protector ulti. You don't feel like fighting in certain area? Pop the Mars ulti. Shadowfiend ulti will stop the initiation from the Doom. Like Doom or Double Doom is not very effective if you don't have a good catch. If you can, like, Luna doesn't provide you with any stun, mini stun, okay. Io, also nothing. So they needed something from the mid lane that, has low cooldown stun that can control them. I think Tiny's okay. I want to see how his laning phase is going to be. Into Shadowfiend. Also, you don't have the best hero to rotate in with. It could be like Grimstroke, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. I want to see how these rotations going to go. If Grimstroke doesn't rotate, means Shadowfiend gets pretty much a free lane. Tiny in this matchup, starting with the 3-throw, which is fine, but he also needs to max out his other abilities. I think in this matchup, you want to try to kill the Shadowfiend, and you also want to come online as fast as possible, something that he did when he played against, who did he play against? I keep forgetting, Hokori. Yeah, did extremely well, but I'm a bit worried. Also, like Medusa matches up nicely against Luna, but also... Sorry, I just have to, having this long monologue about heroes.
Oh, you're good.
I love Dota. But Doom, later stages of the game, you already have a double Doom. And when he gets to that refresher timing, Doom in the late game is just one of the worst heroes to play against. Like, well, what are you going to do? I also don't see... I mean, Lotus Orb works well against Grimstroke and Doom, but I'm not sure who's going to buy it. Treant Protector will struggle unless there's a Philosopher's Stone drop. He struggles getting items on the hero, and Skywrath Mage doesn't buy that item, neither does Mars. So it's gonna be a tricky situation.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of info after the draft, right? You just kind of seen what you see, and luckily the pause, of course, giving us a little bit more time to get through that, as we're still 20 seconds to the horn. I actually wanted to ask you very quickly. Astini brought up a point that I thought was super interesting. He said that they've got a lot better, like of a pickoff or like a guaranteed kill lineup with this Double Doom and, Soulbind combo, something that they can very easily use to, for example, take Roche or take a big objective. Do you think that's going to be enough, especially with first Roche, first Aegis, for this Io Luna draft to really come through? Was that really the problem last game for NoPing?
Yeah, not being able to take Roche gonna set the tempo of the game. Or the previous one, they overextended near the tier 2 tower on the mid lane. So I want to see their approach. Like, it needs to be done execution-wise, Grimstroke, Double Doom, and then turn that into Roche. Because with Io Luna, you have enough damage, you have enough sustain. So even if these two heroes still are left alive, plus maybe one extra, you can still take the Roche on with it, especially early on.
Yep. Keep our eyes down bottom briefly, because there is 3 heroes bot lane currently. There's Nuage's bottom here with the Treant Protector, so they're going to be looking for the surprise play, perhaps for a cheeky little bit of first blood. Mid lane, it's Raze's first point for the SF, as he pushes underneath the tower already.
They know something is up.
Yeah.
NoPing, deep ward, tier 1 tower top, which means it's scouting things out. But let's see, KJ. Like, where could Trent possibly be? I don't know. They're pinging. They're actually
There's the
tipping
tip. Yeah, they know. He's like, go ahead, buddy. Waste more of your experience here. Go ahead. Please, take all day. How long do you wait for this? It seems like they're kind of forcing it a bit now, aren't they? There they go. They're gonna go for King Jungles, of course, for first blood underneath the tower.
And he gets it.
Get
All right, where's the tip back? Like you need to, like everyone needs to tip him back. And we see some. I wish I could, translate this. What this means.
The only thing I could tell you is that the K's mean laughs in Brazilian Portuguese, or maybe regular Portuguese. I don't know, but I can specifically tell you in the SA region, those are laughs in the K's.
Okay. But Medusa CS was 1 after they've done it. Then I checked the scoreboard. SF was sitting at 8. Ooh, good slow. If they connect with the sun, he's gonna die anyway. So that's a pretty bad one, which means that he was not with Medusa for the first minute, even more. And now he died. His TP is on cooldown for another 40 seconds.
And trees are not so good with movement, so he's gonna take a long time to get back into this lane. We'll see here how he can do, especially if he just decides to...
Has boots of speed. It's fine.
Okay.
He got the first blood, got the money, and come back to the lane.
Bottom, spear. Just going to annoy RDO. They almost actually got another pick on King Jungles. But Benny, yeah, they're just going to continue beating into him as much as they can while they have this little bit of an advantage. And speaking of an advantage, SF already kind of making a bit of room for himself here. Mini, I mean, I don't know, Lacoste. I see 3, at the top here on the hero portraits. You see their Dota Plus levels. I see 3 master tags, and that gives me a lot of hope for this APU King of Kings lineup, at least for the laning stage, that they're well within their comfort zone.
One thing that worries me about the laning stage, you're playing into Io. This hero is just too strong. The amount of heal that you get with just a ring of health, eating the tangos, I don't know if they have enough damage to burst him. Skyward Mage dropping low already. Ideally in this situation for APU Kings is Skyward Mage dies, leaves solo XP to Mars.
There's a beautiful toss into the Inkswell. This could be a kill mid lane onto Mini, and it is. Nice rotation coming from Theo Licor, and an even better toss, to be honest, from Tiny.
Okay, so that's you just need 1 point in Inkswell. Let's see what Tiny decides to buy. I want to see a bit of earlier boots, just protecting himself right now with raindrops and the stick. But to go back to my point, in that situation where Skywrath Mage has no mana, has no HP, the best trade, if you can get a return kill and then you just die, your Mars gets the XP, you come back to lane with full mana, full HP. They need to start thinking about these smaller things, because right now, once Visp gets that level 3 with the overcharge, level 4 has a raindrop, you don't die. Look at the mana pool right now on APU Kings. They have none, which means they're not threatening the kills. And Luna, Fairy Fire, Magic Stick. You also have a Magic Stick on Io, so she's not dying. Yeah, you need a rotation.
Yep. Yeah, and speaking of not dying in rotations, top lane, you can freely rotate away from a Doom because, he's a Doom, right? And this Dusa, her start has not been too strong. He's actually even taken the Centaur Corsair's Cloak Aura. I don't know if that's because he couldn't find a better creep or if that's just the one he wanted, but it is going to give him that little bit of magic resist as well, which is going to go a long way towards the harass out from Mystic Snake. But yeah, I don't think Doom necessarily dies in this lane.
No, they don't die. There's no way that they die. Also, Shadowfront rotations are very slow. Even if he ganks up, you need mostly haste to be able to kill them. There's going to be a lot of harassment, but they have no stuns on the top lane, so it might be tricky to land the raises, and it's a waste of time. If Shadowfront decides to rotate with anything else other than the haste rune, or if they don't have vision, he would just prefer to farm the jungle, stacking for himself right now, setting up an observer ward, and Tiny, not messing around. He understands what his job is. I see Blink Dagger and a quick buy. I press like.
Yep, it's easy. That's the clickbait for you, right? Just put that blink in the quick buy and guaranteed like. Can't see the dislikes anymore though, Lacoste. His top lane can't see the Treant Protector anymore. His monster will burn him down there. Just pretty easy kill, to be honest. Running him down with the Scorched Earth. And he's even going to be able to pull this creep wave. Something that's always really annoying for a Dusa player, having to last it under tower. She doesn't do it very well.
Once you get the power treads, it's much easier, but still, you would prefer if you don't have to do it. And we can see bottom lane, farming freely, this Skywrath Mage, keeping mid, who's keeping mid? Treant as well. It's a tri-lane mid.
Classic tri-lane mid. You've heard of Tiny and IO mid. Get ready for Tree SF and well, no more Skywrath, of course, because down he goes. The Lacoste's rotation proving to be a little bit better here than what Apu King of Kings could muster. Okay, so this is what Nuages does. He plants a deep ward behind the tower. My question is, Lacoste, can they even use this? Can they kill this Tiny? He's a pretty tanky boy here, 1200 HP and only an SF and maybe a tree to get through him.
It's more of a protection, I think, for the mid laner if Shadowfiend is standing there. Mars, he has Helm of Ironwill queued up. Not sure if he can get away with that. I think at this point, your Shadowfiend is like not a playmaker. Medusa wants to farm. So maybe an earlier Blink Dagger, something that he did in the previous game. I completely agree with his item build in the previous one. Getting that Blink Dagger, skipping Armlet is nice. Like Armlet's top tier damage, but in this situation, I don't think you can afford it. Casual Iron Will is okay, I think, because their damage output is very limited. I think you can toggle through if you don't die to Tiny's combo, Treant Protector and Mars. He's still level 5. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're
great
getting
rotation.
anything out of this one.
Yeah, they're just going to get the Wisp as RDO gets the kill onto Valky, so already a much better trade here for NoPing. However, that's Nuages. He does at least kill the Courier. That was not going to be the full Mask Bandit, though. Just simply the Quarterstaff. So some net worth missing from Luna, but otherwise, just another kill onto the Wisp. Rotation mid lane. Is that going to be a bottle refill? Absolutely, you bet. Here's the classic. Tiny and Io. Haven't seen this one in a while, as I'm accidentally rhyming. Right now, NoPing looking to commit a crime of murder. Unfortunately, they lose the Wisp first. But they still will end up with that kill onto Mini. There's going to be the second kill then, out from Analog onto the SF. He's going to have a Blink Dagger mighty fast, Lacoste.
Yeah, and free lane top. Your Doom is free farming. Also Luna rotating top to take the tower. NoPing, they're making all the right moves. And you mentioned the Blink Dagger on Tiny. It's going to be 10-minute Blink Dagger, which is pretty impressive. Level 9, combo already maxed out pretty much.
I mean, it's terrifying if you're Apu King of Kings, especially if you're a Skywrath Mage who has absolutely no armor. Down he goes. No armor, no HP, and really no chance. They cancel the TP, as Theo Licor was daring him to complete that one. Dares not, however. Top tower has fallen in the meantime, as you said, RDO making very quick work of that after rotating top. Benny doesn't even have a Yasha left, and he doesn't... a Yasha yet, pardon me, and he's barely got a jungle to farm in. I mean, look how aggressive NoPing are going to be playing this. RDO is even going to be able to kick the Medusa out of lane at this stage.
They're very limited with stuns. Mars needs to rotate to get a kill, or they need level 6 on Skywrath Mage, so that needs to wait for another minute until he gets the book. Shadowfiend also going for BKB. BKB... I don't know if this should be spellcasting type of a Shadowfiend, but he already died twice, so you are missing a lot of timing, I would say, where you're not snowballing. So BKB feels much safer. Dire using a scan, they know something is up. Blink Dagger reveal, let's see what they can get from this.
Yep, they're going to have to try and wrap around, as it seems
like
they've been evaded here in the triangle. Oh, no, they're going to double back. Okay, they're going to double back. The famous quadruple back, and now they're looking at least for a kill down bottom. Valky seems to be the target. They've got vision. There's the blink. Yeah, they've got this one in the bag. Down goes the Mars. Going to be his second death here. 5-0-2 now on the mid lane, Tiny. Much better game for Analog than the Storm game already.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's been all over the place. Let's see. Skywrath Mage going in one more time. Full combo. Raindrop keeping him alive.
Careful here.
This is big kill.
The gap. This could be a big kill indeed at that, as they're going to at least hit him with a Phantom to slow him down a bit. King Jungles does not have the relocate, so he's limited to just the heals, but the heals are not enough. That last raise will collect the soul of the Tiny, and they're going to get the +1 kill onto Wisp. Once again, Lacoste, it's these little bits of over-aggression. Dive is always in the mid lane that seem to punish NoPing. It's, let's not make too big of a deal out of it for now, but a lot of wind out from underneath the sails, especially if they collect a third kill here onto Theo Licor, is diving underneath the tier 1 tower.
And the tower.
King of Kings, and they get the tower. Ooh.
So they got one extra kill coming out from that observer board that you mentioned that was placed between tier 1 and tier 2. And also, they got 2 kills on Shadowfiend, good usage. He's like just 1,400 gold away of BKB. It's a BKB rush, but all it comes down to Skywrath Mage having a bit more tankiness, double null talisman and that infused drop, keeping him alive, managing to use the concussive shot and slow them down. The thing about concussive is you don't need more than 1 point in it anymore. Before it was like 1-for-1 was ulti build. Nowadays I feel Ancient Seal a lot of value. I'm not a big fan of Arcane Bolt max, because concussive shot is now at all levels 40% slow. Before it was scaling ability, now it's just like whatever, Ice Frog. He trying to find a way how to buff Scarlet Mage. It's never enough. This hero just doesn't feel as strong.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Doom bottom. I was wondering where we're going to see one, as Monster was just waiting in the trees. He's going to now call on reinforcements with King Jungles and RDO, and down goes the Mars. However, counterplay is here as well, as smoked up Rapu King of Kings. They're going to look, I think they were smoked, right? They were looking for Analog, but they're not going to find him. The Fear will. Mystic Flare, of course, is invis for a lot of spectators. The reload output is not going to come through from King Jungles because he relocated down bottom. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but a much better one here for Rapu King of Kings. And, well, in fact, I think they're going to get the numerical advantage as well. Silenced up and picked off. My goodness, Ancient Seal with Shadow Rays. Yes, by Wisp. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of Rapu Kings.
Great stuff. Like, they lose Mars, but someone needs to tank that Doom. Doom was being held for a very long time. Medusa on top of CS chart, not on top of net worth. It's very hard to outfarm Doom at the early stages of the game. This hero is just insane at what he does, so no surprise. But looking at the Shadow Fiend, he's doing really well. Full BKB, 13 minutes in. After that horrible start, being ganked twice. Level 12 right now. Level 2 ulti. All right. We have a game again.
We have a game. Yeah, just the 1 overextension is really all it takes, Lacoste, and all that early game lead. You know, if it's easy come, easy go, as they say, right? It's easy to get that early game lead. It's just as easy to lose it and throw it on back. They still are holding on to that net worth lead, mostly, as you say, thanks to this Doom. And I actually wanted to talk to you about this Doom, because I was kind of shocked, to be honest, to see him use it on the Mars just for that solo kill. Especially if they've scouted this BKB being built up by the SF, because, you know, it just never feels too great building a BKB against a Doom, does it? It's going to go through, you know, you need a Lincoln Sphere, there's all these things you have to do, but he's going for it anyway. Instead of a Dragon Lance or a right-click build, is he just ready to fight? He just needs to fight on this SF, or what is it?
I think he wants to stand inside, potentially bait a Doom on him, and they reset with either Treant ulti, Arena, or a Stone Gaze, because your target most likely gonna be Shadow Fiend in the mid games. Tiny with Armut.
Yep, down bottom he goes. There's gonna be the Arena, this reset that you're talking about, with 4 heroes to back them up. Very easy kill here. Rapu King of Kings, and Valky still lives. There's that armlet you're talking about. Pretty easy for him to toggle through that one.
Analog twice in a row, keeping the viewers and us entertained, and also keeping the game interesting. A lot of rotations to bottom. They showed, I believe, all 5 heroes. Yeah, it got scouted out by that ward near the tier 1 tower in mid.
Yep. There's a smoke as well behind this Dusa. NoPing, they know that a couple of heroes TP down bottom, but they don't see anyone else pushing and farming that bottom wave, so except for Mini, of course, so they're going to go ahead and just back away from this tier 1 tower siege, still respecting the team fight, as there is an overgrowth yet to be used.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, still 1k net worth difference. There's Mini showing off his brand new BKB. I'd like to see what he's got in his quick buy next, as I'm sure you do as well. But I also want to see what Valky decides to queue up. Should it just be Blink immediately after, or does he go BKB next on this Mars?
Yeah, definitely Blink. They need a way to start a fight, and there needs to be a follow-up. There's a great synergy between like Shadow Fiend Requiem and the Arena. So if you can set that up, Analog once again.
Oh, okay, and RDO this time around. I didn't see the Wisp TPing on it in, but that's a pretty easy kill there onto 2, right as the ward expires. It's a nice usage there of the little waning moments of vision. They have a ward here as well. Rapu King of Kings, though, they're playing cute around this one. They've got vision here, but yeah, both teams know that they had vision. It's a little bit too cute, maybe.
Well,
now makes the jump on in, and down goes the Skywrath Mage. Okay.
Skywrath Mage kind of toying with Tiny, but Tiny had Tumblr Stoy, Inkswell, Blink Dagger, hard to not close the gap at that point. How are we doing? Train Protector, yeah, 2 points in Leech Seed for lane is fine. That also means you will not have a Living Armor maxed out for a very long time. 26 seconds, level 1 cooldown, 14 level 4. He has Blink Dagger queued up. If he can find Lotus Orb, I think that would be great. I want to see, like, Medusa. You don't want to buy Lincolns on that hero. It's not... Oh, I'll hold that thought.
As a Doom onto the SF, they should be able to nuke him. As down he will go. Death Requiem not really doing much other than maybe adding lag to a couple of PCs. That's going to be the SF down for 40 seconds. Is it too early for Roche?
No, they have enough damage. The Shadowfiend's one of the worst heroes to respawn with because your ulti doesn't do a damn thing after. They still have like Soulbind, no Doom, Eclipse about to be level 2. It's not going to be enough experience to get Luna to level 2 if they're all sticking around the Roche pit. Dire scanning around mid lane to see what's up.
Yeah, it's perhaps not as fast as they were hoping for. As there's a Sentry D-Ward, Analog making the jump yet again. This time onto the Train Protectors. The Eclipse is out to combat those in the river, but in comes Benny now with his own ulti. Monster BKBs, but he is still petrified. There's a buyback now from the Train Protector. They have lost themselves Theo Licor, so it's a lopsided fight now with this buyback. Roche on just about half HP, and SF collecting souls in the mid lane to get a little bit more damage into his ulti. The Kings, they are going to be able to contest this one.
This Horde on the high ground giving them a lot of vision with like what's happening at their side of the map, but they're going in. Medusa very low on mana, only 250.
Okay, there's now the respawn from the Grimstroke as Benny still trying to tank through this Aegis. Analog didn't blink it. Oh, he's got blink though. He's going to find Valky. Down he goes. Valky with buyback as the Soulbind is going to connect the two supports. Mini though pops the BKB and the ultimate. The Fioranti RDO is good, but not good enough for the kill. As now both heroes still fighting this one, but RDO is going to go down through the BKB. Could not live. The arena is out, and it's caught 3 heroes in it. Theo Licor, who's just respawned, is going to drop. Down goes Monster.
Oh, what
a fight! Analog in there as well. Huge fight for APU Kings.
Whew, man, 2 buybacks. They go on Train Protector. He immediately buys back, realizes, and they're gonna get Wisp again. Did Wisp buy back?
No, he didn't.
No, he just relocated. He just used relocate.
Full team
and Luna goes for a sneaky play. Once again, I guess that's the bug where Mystic Flare is invis for some reason, so I can't see it. But going inside the pit, tries to fight. I think she gets passed by Roche. And also, right clicks from the Shadowfiend at this point are no joke. Like, yeah, you have 15 armor, but still Roche hitting you and Shadowfiend hitting you with that presence of the Dark Lord. It's gonna be tricky. Shadowfiend going for Lincolns. I like that. Like, he usually is not the Lincolns buyer, but in this situation, you have Lucent Beam, which is kind of because he can pierce through it. Other than that, you're fine. Like, Grimstroke doesn't want to use his spells to pop it.
You can just kill the Phantom while it flies to you, especially with that attack speed. Ooh, okay, I mean, the game is, I think, a little scary now for NoPing, right? Because it was looking good. They picked up almost a free kill into the SF, right? It cost them the Doom, but they killed an SF. They go into Roche, realize, oh no, this is taking a little bit too long. They don't get this first Aegis again. What's the game plan here for NoPing? How do they look to recover this now, or are they still in a decent position in this game where they don't need to focus on recovering?
Still afraid for them again. Mars, like, he's recovering. He managed to get the buyback off in the previous fight, and he got a lot of gold from it. So his Blink Dagger will be there. Skywrath Mage, as Panel talked about, is food for Tiny. Managed to die 4 times, but he's been involved in a lot of kills. 14 out of 16 kills, so not too bad. And I like that he's not going for Rod of Atos type of a build in this situation. I feel like he had a Glimmer Cape queued up, which is real nice. It protects you against any combo. And also, like, if they're not going for Dust, which we've seen in the previous game, these core players, they're greedy. Now, man, they're greedy as hell.
Yeah, you can't, you can't make room for Dust if you need your Quelling Blade at 20 minutes. It's necessary. The smoke play here into the triangle is not going to find anyone. Won't even find a camp, and they won't find one anymore. They've blocked it. It's not Midas being used by Monster. Oh, there he goes. I was about to talk to you about this because he was actually still holding on to that Hill Troll Summoner from the Devour, which I didn't know had that mana aura. I always knew he had that really crappy heal. but he was using that mana aura, I think, to just spam his spells. Now he's going to pick up the Shard Golem, so we might get to see some Doom Limbs, unless he switches it to something better, like, I don't know, the War Stomp, probably.
He saw Shadowfin. He got a glimpse of him. That's why he's already preparing. Because Shadowfin, I don't think that's the way to go. Like, if you want to surprise them with, but yeah, Lincoln Sphere is done, and he wants to be able to pierce it. He wants to jump in and be able to get the Doom off on SF.
They catch the Uli Core, down he goes, and they've also cut off Analog from really any sort of retreat. Oh, the reload out is perfect. Nicely done there by King Jungles, as he's going to take the Tiny home. Tiny says thank you very much, good luck on the way out, gives him a nice high five, and is not going to see the Wisp for another 20 or so seconds here. As King Jungle's hands off the keyboard, he's just going to drop a spray. Nice.
Not much he can do at that point. You relocate back into instant silence from
Monster.
Ancient Seal.
He's been scanned. They're going to find him. He's got BKB, and he's going to TP. Okay.
BKB down 1 second. I think APU Kings are very satisfied with it.
Yeah, they'll also be satisfied with the farm that this Deuce has found. Manta immediately after this BKB.
Man.
She's pretty
Look at
tanky.
this.
And
Analog. He's had extremely good game first 12 minutes, and now look where he is sitting. Behind Mars, who was really struggling. Oh, he gets the right one!
Yep, they toss her back. They're going to doom her up, but after she gets off the Stone Gaze, so she can still actually turn and fight through this one. In fact, that's what she's trying, but no BKB here means RDO is going to be a little bit too strong with the Eclipse active mini. Is he still holding on to his Aegis? He's still alive. He's going to go down to the towers, a multi-shot, as Analog has already died, kicking off this fight.
Everyone is super low. They will need to retreat. Yeah. Like, they can get the tower and then retreat, but still, Tiny, once again, goes in, gets the real target off after Manta style, which is kind of lucky, but still not lucky enough to survive that fight.
No, he's not. Yeah, he is, I mean, true to name, right? Analog, we've all gone digital already here, as this SF is tearing through him.
A good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So this should potentially be a tower on the bottom without Eclipse. Shadowfin was holding on to BKB for a very long time. And he has a DD in a bottle. Lincoln Sphere already done. Medusa. Thinking about going Lincolns. Your damage output is limited with it. I think you need to itemize differently on your supports to be able to protect against that double Doom. Because Doom is the biggest threat. Like, they fail the Doom, they lose the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, especially, and what's scary about it is, as the panel was talking about, it's a 2.5 minute long cooldown in between these combos, in between these fights that should be almost a guaranteed win according to your draft. So if you mess this up, you have nothing for the next follow-up period. And, well, APU Kings, they're slightly cooldown dependent, but if you don't have a Doom, I don't think they're necessarily too scared of you, are they? Especially with how short their cooldowns generally are.
They have long cooldowns, but still I feel they will take a fight, especially if the trade-off is like a BKB or 2 on side of NoPing. Okay, Medusa still thinking about that Lincolns or Daedalus, just going for the Crystallis, thinking whether she can survive or not, going low on mana. Well, there's a Clarity running on me, plus I have a Mystic Snake. I think it's might be okay to get it. Serum.
Yeah, well,
if you can get out of this, this is pretty big. 4 heroes showing bottom. Relocate used.
Yeah, space created. Voice lines coming through now. They're flowing like water here from APU Kings with how good they're feeling about this game. 5k net worth lead, but of course that doesn't tell the full story now, does it? Especially with how far Analog has taken a tumble. You know, they say a rolling stone gathers no moss, but given how he's not really been playing too much the past 10 minutes, this is kind of a mossy stone, isn't it?
It really is. At least he gets an item that allows him to scale, so we're not going to see the same situation as the previous game, where they were solely relying on Luna, and missed.
That would have been a kill. That would have been a big kill. Minnie's here with a DD, and I mean, I don't know, King Jungle's still nearby. Oh, didn't have relocate. That was a kill for sure.
Yeah, that was a big play, because they realized it was used to the bottom and tried to make something happen. Didn't connect. Alki going for Shard, pre-BKB. He's feeling himself.
Oh, he is. He had a pretty good game as well last time around on the Mars. So he's all warmed up. He's got the armlet this time as well, so he does a little bit more damage on this God's Rebuke. Yeah, he's having a great game.
I actually have no clue when they added the -10 Bulwark move speed penalty on Mars. Someone asked me, threatened me. I would not know. I would really not know the answer. What? I learned something today. For some reason, I just didn't think that was... It's one of those things that you never click. You think it's something else, and then you're like, well, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta love those small little interactions in Dota, don't you?
Yeah,
really
some of
small,
the
tiny things.
stuff needs to be fixed. Some of the talents are really boring. I think the best example is Razor, level 10 and level 15 talents. We have 9 agility, and then on 15 you have 14 strength. Very creative, I gotta say. And level 20 is not intelligence, so a bit surprised by that.
Okay. Yeah, they don't like having heroes having intelligence talents. They don't like this Mars either, as they will go ahead and jump him. I believe that was Doom utilized there. Indeed it was for 2 kills. There's going to be Mini, though, continuing to fight through this one. BKB, though, however, for RDO and Monster active allows him to shrug off the Requiem. But now the Dusa running on into battle. Gaze active, now with a full Daedalus. They're going to look to turn and try and fight through her. There's no BKBs on anyone, so this Eclipse could do a lot of damage here. But RDO, most of them are bouncing onto the Illusions. Mini, though, is going to be first to go, as he will fall. RDO falling quite low with the Wisp, keeping him alive, but no, Benny's got a little bit too much damage, assisted by the Skywrath Mage, and now, with RDO no longer in this fight, they still will be able to take down the Dusa. It's a 1v1 here, Skywrath Mage versus the Doom, but of course, out of mana here, Skywrath Mage should have this one easily. A little bit more mana there, courtesy of the Wisp. Monster will blink and secure the team wipe. Nice fight there for NoPing.
To get good Soul Bind and Toss combo, so it still works. It's a very good combination of the spells. They got the Doom off, and look at Doom. Doom is massive right now. Level 20, Shiva's Guard done. Less than 3,000 gold away from Shiva's. That's like 1 Hand of Midas usage and 2 Devour, so he's going to have a refresher for the next fight, most likely. And this is where you need to be afraid.
That is true, Lacoste. Although I would counter, and perhaps Apu King of Kings are going to counter here by saying, okay, you guys used literally everything you had. We still have Arena, we still have Overgrowth. Mystic Flare cooldown, of course, is basically nothing. Roshan is up, number 2. Are NoPing in a position to fight and even take this Roche, considering they lost Luna in that fight and couldn't, do Roche immediately after?
19 seconds until Medusa. Shadowfiend needs to farm up some souls, so holding on to this is, I'd say, a win for Apu Kings, because they want to contest it. Luna this time around didn't go for shard herself, because first Roshan died relatively fast, and she wants to be able to pick it up for the second, if they get it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the big if, right? That's the perhaps major winning question, of course. As like I said earlier, Apu Kings, with this showing, they're 1-1 currently. If they win this game, NoPing would fall to 1-1, and Apu would go to 2-1. I say only with 2 major slots, so this Roshan might be a little bit bigger than just second Roche Aegis.
It's a lot of minus armor. Solar Crest, Shadowfiend, Aura. They're going for it. They're going for a good Medusa. I love that.
Too slow. Analog, he's jumped in. He's going to be petrified.
Up the shard.
Oh, and Valky, he's caught 2 on the outside. RDO gets the BKB off, but they've lost Analog. They've lost the Grimstroke. And they've lost almost any chance here at getting second Roche. As down goes Monster, the third to fall in this fight. They're going to get this Wisp as well. He attempted for another relocate save. There's many. The entire team with a tip onto King Jungles. They're really feeling it now, Lacoste.
Oh, they really are. And he's going to drop. Tiny decides to go in. Nice premature Medusa ulti. Where she's like, whatever, you jump in, whoever jumps is gonna die. Quick fingers, quick reactions, get the Aegis, doesn't get the shard. Tiny was able to pick it up. Let's see who will give it to. Grimstroke bought the shard for himself, I believe. Io bought the shard.
2 lanes of Perix.
This might be the game. 40 seconds without Doom. He actually invested into Perseverance, which is not something you want to do. This item doesn't give you anything.
No, it does not.
I don't think they can close out the game, but they could go for a second set of barracks, because they already killed the bottom. Going for the throne would be a mistake, but let's see what can happen. Presence Aura affects buildings. That's a big one.
Yep.
-7 armor.
SO onto buildings. It's huge. On it goes. That's 2 lanes of barracks after the Roche fight, and that's kind of what I was afraid of and hinting at even, Lacoste. It's, you know, NoPing, they win that fight, but they pay basically the ultimate price, and the fact that they lose their Luna, they lose any Roche damage, and immediately after Apu Kings, they just go right into it and take Roche. Nothing really NoPing could do about it.
This whole series pretty much can be summed up. Whoever gets the Roche, Apu Kings, I think they're understanding what Roche gives to NoPing and how to approach the fights and delay them possibly when they lost 4 heroes. But as you said, like, there was no Luna, which means no real damage to Roshan. If it was Luna Io +1, they take the Roche easily.
Yep, sure. Now RDO is a little bit sad this game, this series. You know, 2 Luna games with an Io to back and a pretty decent global lineup as well, right? You drop a Doom onto a hero, you relocate in this Luna Io, and that's a guaranteed kill, essentially. Last game with the Storm Spirit to play with. They've had the strats that's worked for them twice in their previous DPC outing as well, and well, he just hasn't had to grasp. He hasn't had the chance, rather, to grasp an Aegis this series. It must be frustrating for him.
Oh, for
really
sure.
Working.
Yeah, because his performance has been great. It's just like the rest of the team, decision-making wise and how to protect him, I would say, wasn't really working out. It's being pinged out. Let's see, Skyrat Mage. He's good. He has the on this.
Yeah, he's okay. Away he goes, and in fact he turns, gets the Ancient Seal now, and drops the Mystic Flare. Invis for me, but not for Tiny, as down he goes. Doom has been dropped onto Mini, though. It's a lot of damage out of the fights, but Benny, still alive, is going to force back RDO, who BKBs just to escape through the arena. They might not even get this kill onto Mini, as the Eclipse at least is going to pick up the kill onto Valky, but Mini's still alive. He's going to have BKB, just no HP to fight through this one, however. Down goes the Skywrath Mage now, but Mini, he's going to drop the Requiem. He's going to look for the Luna, and Benny from behind to shut the door. King Jungles needs to get him out of here, but he's been killed and picked off. RDO is left without any support in the river. He will fall outside the Roche pit. It's going to be a big kill for Apu, King of Kings, as Theo Lee
He'll find him.
scouted
Look at
by
this.
the
Scouting
courier.
with the courier on high ground, gives himself vision. Like Mini, I think he deserves the tips there. Manages to survive due to the Twin Protector using heal on him, getting out of the fight, and now 50. Like this is mega creeps. Roshan is not gonna respawn for a very long time. They still have Aegis for 1 minute. It was a good go. They try to go on Shadow Fiend. There's no like real protection. Twin Protector uses ulti, Living Armor. That's it. But their damage output, if they don't catch him off guard, which they don't like, I don't think they can. They don't have enough stuns. Tiny goes in, he just straight up dies.
Yep. Yeah, jump in the Skywrath Mage, who had Andisk there, unfortunately was almost seemingly the kiss of death for that
that was
fight.
a big one. You have to click him. Like the one play they could have tried to go for, because they had a ward and they saw him coming, is to toss him back. Like toss him back instead of using the full combo, proc the E on disc, and then he's definitely dead. So that means mega creeps.
Yep, no chance to get anything. Monster very eager to show off this double Doom. He's gonna try and wait the 40 seconds for the natural cooldown to come back so he can properly double Doom, but oh man, it's against the mega creeps. Luckily, with a Luna, you know, with a Tiny, with a Doom, you can tank through these things, but it's gonna severely limit the way you have to play the rest of your game. 3 minutes until third Roche might respawn, as this Aegis about to be reclaimed here momentarily. There's that horn from Benny. But this Aegis was so big for Apu Kings. I got him the megas, all 3 lanes.
What Benny does is every single time he wants to buy an item, he puts Lincoln's here in his quick buy just to see maybe it's a good time to buy Lincoln's right now. And it feels like it never is for him. He always wants, I'm not gonna say higher tier item, but he also doesn't want to invest too much in defensive department.
Yeah, I mean, why bother this game? 2-1-11. I think they killed them, what, in the laning stage once, but otherwise a pretty solid game again out from Benny. As, you know, in fact, he's not even that great of a Doom target, is he? He was doomed in one of the fights, and just really didn't care too much, did he?
Yeah, he got the Stone Gaze off once he got tossed back to tier 2 tower, and that's when you say, like, enough. They have 2 BKB piercing abilities. Like, you have Stone Gaze and Overgrowth. I've seen Medusas in other regions doing really well, where you stall the game long enough for Medusa to come online. You know that they can just go in, fighting underneath the ward one more time.
This could
Let's
be
see
better.
what NP can do.
Not getting baited. Oh, Analog wants to toss back, but instead he's just going to eat a lot of arrows out from the Medusa. Oh, Valky from the side trying to flank with the Arena is going to whiff. That's going to give NoPing a little bit of an opening here, as Doomed Up is going to be the Medusa. She's attached as well to the Skywrath Mage, but his Andis proc's not going to get a kill, but Petrified is RDO. The relocate out is coming. Can they get him out in time?
He's out of mana.
Looks like he's going to try and fight through this one, though, but he's going to just fall. He's not tanky enough. The Overgrowth as well was there to stop Monster from going away. Analog stuck on the high ground, cosplaying a ward. He will be able to TP on home. Double buyback now, as Monster is just eating creeps on the back lines here. There's the buyback out from Nuages. He runs down a Monster. That was the double doom utilized in this fight.
He'll
And
be able to
Monster-
get out. So,
Yeah, he will.
buyback from RDO, buyback from Serum. Unfortunately, Mars does not have one, but they're playing against Mega Creeps. Only tier 1, one tier 4 tower standing in the base. Shadowfiend, very hard to kill. Like, Medusa gets the ulti once again, and they just don't have enough damage. If the BKBs are not down and Luna not using the Eclipse, I don't feel they have enough damage. Tiny, once again, not the greatest initiation. They were fighting underneath the ward. He tries to get the toss back. Doesn't happen, gets juked, so they were forced to kind of retreat in a bad spot once again. Even though it's a 9k gold lead, at least for this game, it feels much, much more.
Can't believe Benny took that Arcane Rune. You're playing with an SF who just bought an Arcane Blink. You're playing with a Skywrath Mage, and you just, nope, I'm Medusa, I take everything. Hard carries, man. You can't play with them, you can't win without them. It's so difficult.
Very easy to tilt. Like these like carries, man. Whew. I could talk the whole day about them. Tiny, still no BKB.
No, he does not. Silenced up, taking a lot of damage here, half HP. Luckily, he's got that massive HP pool to back him up, but that's already tier 4 down, last tier 4 standing. Benny was starting to make very quick work of this buffer build. He's going to go back to this buffer building. You know what? Screw that buffer building. Goodbye. Goodbye, building. Deleted. Unoriginal. Boring. Now onto the throne. The tossback is good, though.
Oh,
Nearly
the
into
big
the
play.
fountain with that tether play, but Betty's going to get off the BKB. He's going to get off the Stone Gaze. Analog's going to go down. Monster is dying through his BKB. RDO is trying to jump these back lines as Mini's trying to show off this Arcane Blink. The Overgrowth is good for RDO. Gets off a little bit of healing. Doesn't have a Satanic, though, and cannot out-sustain all the damage from APU King of Kings. They're going to win. They're going to take the 2-0, moving themselves up to 2-1, and NoPing dealt their first loss with the IO Luna draft. They will fall to 1-1. After this series. What a game. What a game, Lacoste.
I mean, coming into the series, I don't think people would expect to go this way. And this team, APU Kings, they also beat Lava 2-1. After seeing their performance, I'm like, well, this team, they look good. They look solid. We got to give credit to NoPing for trying kind of a game-winning play where they toss back onto Io, who relocates the toss Medusa into the fountain. It was a bit too late for that, but great showing from APU King of Kings.
Yeah, and that was an incredible game too, an even better game too, honestly, than game number 1. I think I went into game number 1 kind of, especially after what our panel said, was super, super confident, right, with this Io Luna, as they made it look super good, right, in their previous series. But just that first Roche, APU Kings identifying the key objective, the key win condition seemingly being that first and second Aegis especially, and managing to take the fights there was super impressive, very key. All right, with that, that's going to be all for us for our first series. We're going to throw it on over to another key part of our production. That's going to be Avo Plus and the panel to break down our series a little bit more for you.
Hey guys, hello and welcome to the panel as we get ready for the next series the day before. Let's talk about this wonderful series because APU King of Kings really bringing their A game today. Really showing up against NoPing. There can be a lot of criticism to be said about NoPing, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, I want to celebrate APU King of Kings and what they did well. Once again, there were moments that were not so clean, but for the most part, I mean, that Roshan turning fight was a lot on him. Despite Roshan stopping him and bashing him, didn't really matter. That was Mini pulling through. The team fight really pulled through for them as well. I want to highlight one good thing in general about the team that you guys saw, particularly if we can start with you, Kips. Something that you really liked about what they did this game.
APU King Kings, their teamfight shot calling is just really very nice, especially the calls on when to buyback or not. They're clearly taking these positions as well, where a buyback can actually turn a fight, especially around these Roshan situations. And I love seeing how committed they are to just investing in those buybacks, investing in getting the fight win, even if it doesn't start off on the best foot.
Steny, what about you? What did you like about them?
I would copy keeps, but then another point.
Yes.
The team fight, how well they fight, the synergy they have on spells usage, because this Roche that we are seeing right now, it felt like it was going the other way, but they just fought better. They used the spells so well with the Trinket ultimate together with Shadow Fiend, the arena afterwards to close it. It's just perfect spell usage.
No, no. Thank you, panel. What a diverse panel. Wonderful 2 points that you guys gave me. Let's look at NoPing though, Estini. You were not very happy that they tried the same strategy twice. You thought it was a bit pigeonholed. Do you think that Doom gave him the versatility, or did it feel lackluster?
Nah, for a while it felt better, but I believe it's because Analog had such a great beginning of the game.
Yep.
It's not even about the Doom, because the Doom happened as mentioned that you can win a team fight or get kills every 2 minutes, but that's it, and you can't rush afterwards, especially with the nice buyback usage from King of Kings. And maybe if they waited 2 minutes more to actually win a team fight and go rush, because they got kills, but they couldn't do rush in time. That could be a way to make that Doom work, but it's very hard to make it work.
Yeah. Kips, were you? What about the Tiny? I know you suggested in the early time, because we saw it, as Steve said, do pretty well in the early game, but it fell off pretty hard in the mid late game.
Yeah, and I think that's a window where your offlaner needs to step up for the fact that you've had so much time to farm because you've had a Tiny dictating the entire pace of the battlefield, and then he is going to have to get a BKB. He's going to have to get ideally an Echo Saber on top of that as well, just to be able to actually scale into physical damage mid-late game. And if he doesn't get that space because, you know, his other cores are a Doom and a Luna, then you get this scenario where if you don't fall completely out of control, you're just going to fall off because you're still playing Space Maker even after all this time. And I think they did that to themselves with the farm distribution a little bit.
And that compares directly to Mini as well, who was completely the opposite, right? Where at the beginning he was just okay, and then he scales pretty hard and was pretty much a second carry there when the Tusa wasn't available. But let's talk about the other second carry, which I was incredibly impressed by, which was Skywrath Mage. To be honest, I don't know about you guys, but I was very impressed with damage output in these team fights. I thought at first, oh, you know, Mystic Flare plus Mars, like, okay, I see the combo, you know, typical combo where you stun and you kill someone. But I was the arcade bolts, like in the team fights, he was just throwing them out, the double sciences. Once he got that talent, the damage output was insane. There was particularly one team fight near the Roche pit. I was like towards the latter parts of the game where they started off by killing both the Luna and the, I think it was SF. Yeah, and the Dusa stayed there. And the damage was not coming from the Dusa, it was from Hannes. It was from the Skywrath Mates. Those arcane bolts pretty much chunked the Doom, a strength hero. Do you think this hero is a bit of a sleeper pick here, where we're going to see it a bit more?
I mean, it's risky, right? I think if the Tiny has a better game here and he can continue to scale, he can continue to survive going in, then that Skywrath will continue to die. But instead, Analog has to play so careful because he doesn't have any items. He can't afford a BKB until way later, so he just dies if he commits on the Skywrath.
So it's more of an issue of what happened with their draft that enabled the Skywrath so hard, rather than the hero actually being that amazing.
I mean, it is amazing if this condition happens. Like, this is exactly what you hope for.
Right. Steny, would you agree with that analysis?
Yeah, I think it's just like, and Hanep, he played so well with the hero. Because I wouldn't think the hero is good, and even against Io, because you're a hero that you want to burst, and Io is super good against that burst by covering heroes with that healing damage mitigation. So it's just how well they played that made the hero look like so much damage output, but the hero is not that good. It's just the player, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you guys for dampening my excitement. That's why you guys are the smart analysts and I'm just the host. But that's why I get to say the goodbyes. And we do have another match for today, guys, so do stay tuned. It's going to be Beast Coast versus Lava, but that match will be starting in around 30 minutes, as this is not a running schedule for DPC. We do we always play by the times. So if you guys are interested in that, and you guys are asking yourselves because you don't follow SA DPC like these nerds, you're like, who's Lava? What is this team? Why should I be excited? Well, they're Thunder Predator, the old Thunder Predator that went to TI, stayed exactly together without fear, but for the most, besides that, it's together. And this is always known as El Clásico here in South America. These used to be the two best teams. Lava did lose to King of Kings, which we thought was a big deal, but now seeing that they beat NoPing, maybe it wasn't. Maybe King of Kings is just the new big roster to make it into Div 1, so we'll have to see. But for now, guys, I do recommend you tune into that. It's going to be in exactly 27 minutes, and we're even going to get secure an interview with them later. We unfortunately cannot do that with the current teams because, well, you know how players are. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to catch them with the right tech. But for the next one, we do promise we're going to have that in the post-game as well. So we do recommend you tune in if you're interested in some insight on either Beast Coast or Lava. We hope you enjoyed the panel. We hope you enjoyed the cast, of course. And we'll see you guys in 26 minutes now with the next game of the day. Until then.